guys, and welcome to today's episode of the Bamcast. My name is Baker, and this is my little sister and business partner, Addison, making her, I think, fourth appearance now on the podcast. We've done a few episodes now, but super excited to kind of catch up because you and I actually haven't talked that much. I feel like in the past couple of weeks, I feel like we've both been super busy. What have you been up to over the past few weeks that's keeping you from your talking to your brother?
Okay, as if it's my fault. Just normal things. Lots of going to the gym, hanging out with my boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
all that good stuff.
Gotcha. Well, I think today we can kind of catch up on the pod and everything, and then I think it would be cool if we kind of go through what we did our first episode together, which was kind of talk about some different ideas, some different clips, and just go from there. So, first question is, I've been trying to ask this, like especially with the episodes that I've done with Kinsey, but what's been like a high point of the past month since we did the last episode, and what's been a low point for you?
Great question. A low point I feel like was like probably like last week because I've just been in my head a lot about the way I look and not feeling like myself and just not feeling good or feminine or pretty, and I've been really struggling with that lately, so I feel like that was kind of my low point. A high point for me was probably Jermaine and I kind of figured out finally how to like monetize our social medias a little bit more, which has been really cool to see like him succeed and like have my own personal success. So I feel like that was a high point for me in the last month. Is just kind of figuring out new things and new ways to kind of grow with social media.
So what does that mean? You guys figured it out. What did you guys figure out?
Well, we've never really like monetized on like TikTok, and we kind of figured out how to like it's hard managing, I guess, multiple social media platforms. You kind of like want to pick one and succeed with it and like really push, but we kind of figured out how to monetize our content on TikTok by actually like adhering to the rules of like the creator fund and like putting out high quality videos and stuff like that. So yeah, we just figured that out, and it's been a pretty big blessing, I would say, for both of us in the last month.
That's awesome. So for those people that don't know, including myself, because you've told me about it here and there. What describe what the creator fund is and what does it even mean to like make videos that capitalize on explain that.
Well, the creator fund, like, there's like so many like things you have to like meet in terms of requirements for the creator fund, but essentially, as a creator and a part of that program, you can monetize your content based off of like your engagement, your views, your likes, your comments, your saves, your shares. So like the more people who come to your page and engage with your content, the more you're going to get paid off those videos. All the videos in the creator fund now have to be a minute or longer. So like that's like the difficult part is finding
Okay.
things that you can do for a minute. But we've both been like super into our content lately, trying to like maximize everything, every little bit of our videos to make sure they're engaging and like people want to watch them. So
Yeah.
that's what the creator fund entails.
Gotcha. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So being a part of the creator fund just means you have access to be getting paid to post more stuff on TikTok.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
Like
And
I don't think they like
sorry,
no you're fine.
each video has to qualify. It's not like a one person qualifies and then all of their stuff counts. It's each video has to qualify to get paid off of it.
Yeah, like if I posted like an 8-second video, like regardless of whether I'm in the creator fund or not, like that video does not qualify. Like your video has to meet like the specific requirements for the creator fund in order to qualify. So I don't get paid for like every single video, it's only some of the videos, and the pay depends on the engagement with that particular video.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's sick. I didn't know that. So so the creator fund and figuring that stuff out, you feel like has helped to learn how to monetize social media just in terms of just getting to post more.
Right.
For both of you guys, that's kind of been the high point.
Yeah, I would say that's been like one of the high points of the last month. Yeah.
That's awesome. I would say for me, um, high point was probably finishing 75 hard, which was last weekend, I guess. Um, that was a big kind of weight lifted off, just not having to do all those things every day because it's not hard to like do them per se, but it's just like having to do it every single day makes it a little bit tough and a little bit draining after 150 workouts, you know. Um, Low point, I would say. So I got pretty sick middle of last week. And that like last like Thursday or Friday was like the worst that it got. And you can still kind of like hear it in my voice and like I'll cough here and there throughout the episode, I'm sure. Um, but I got pretty sick and that was, especially having to finish out 75 hard with that going on, that was not super fun, but I would say that was probably the low point for me. Was just being sick, and then the high point was just finishing that. But pretty much normal life outside of that. Really, it's just
Same.
chipping away. That's all we do.
Day in and day
What?
out.
Yeah, day in and day out. Um, Now I've been trying to figure out the content thing myself and put out more YouTube stuff. I've almost have like a third or fourth vlog done for YouTube, and I'm about ready to post that, but I was talking to Kinsey today, which I'm curious to hear your feedback on this too. I think I want to just put out more. I feel like episodes of the podcast, um, and just to try and get like more. Again, the whole goal is more hours of myself on the internet, right? Like
Mhm.
putting more of our lives, of like my thoughts and like my just documenting more stuff. So I'm thinking about trying to go to like a either like a 2 episode a week type of framework or just like putting out episodes as I do interviews. So it's not really like I don't know if it'd be called like semi-weekly or what that would be called. But episodes as they are just filmed, like I'm just filming, editing and dropping them to where it's not like an every Monday thing like it is right now. It would be more of like kind of a regular thing, more frequent, and it could be like an interview and then like a friends and family episode each week. Because people seem to really like, the episodes that you and I do together and just catching up and talking about all the things that we talk about. People seem to really like the episodes that Kinsey and I do together, talking about relationship stuff and just how to push each other and whatnot. So I
Mhm.
think maybe doing something like that would be beneficial, but that's something I've been kind of kicking around.
Yeah, I think that'd be
But
smart.
all the content stuff is just tough to keep up with. So I'm
Yeah,
trying my best.
you're doing
So
good. You're doing good.
I'm trying. Which brings me to my first question is when are we going to get a freaking vlog from you?
Mhm. Okay, I just have to post the first one. I recorded a little rest day vlog of me doing a whole bunch of dumb car stuff because I had to get all that done before my car could pass the state inspection. Yeah, so I have those, and then obviously, like, I'm going to be visiting home and you guys, and we're going to go to Florida. So I'll be vlogging those trips as well. But yeah, I just have to post it. I just like, YouTube's not like a platform I've ever really used. So I've talked about that a lot. I started doing like YouTube shorts and stuff just to kind of build a presence there. I feel like it's helped a little bit, but yeah, I just have to record the first vlog. I
Yeah,
mean, post.
yeah. You just need to get it out there. I think it'll be big for you once you actually post it. But I think you just need to get over the fear of posting it and just get it out there. Get one out, and you'll feel a lot more comfortable. Well, this is a perfect segue into the first quote that I want you to kind of give your take on. Okay. So, this is something that Chad actually sent me the other day that I thought was a brilliant kind of reframe. So, he
Okay.
sent me this video, and this guy was talking about how the goal in football is not actually touchdowns, it's first downs. If you get enough of them, you'll get the touchdown. If all you shoot for is touchdowns, you and everyone else on the team will feel like failures when you don't get one every single play. Tell me what you think about that.
I mean, I think that's just kind of like the small goals are like bigger in the grand scheme of like the bigger goal. Like, yes, everyone wants a touchdown, but in order to get there, you have to move the ball up the field. So I think that that's we've talked about that on like our team calls and stuff. Like you, even though you might have this goal of I want to lose 50 pounds, okay, but that's a singular pound that you have to
Mm.
lose before you can even like get close to 50. So I think that just the small goals are what make up the bigger picture, the bigger goal, like what you actually want to accomplish. And
Yeah.
without those, like you're never going to accomplish what you have set out to accomplish if you don't take the time to achieve the little milestones between here and there.
Yeah, and just doing the work to knock one of those down, right,
Right.
consistently in small spurts will add up over time to that big goal that you're trying to knock down. So I thought that was a brilliant reframe because it is so true, right? If you're first of all, it's riskier to go for a touchdown every play. But second of all, like you only get 4 shots at a touchdown, right? Versus first downs, you get obviously 4 shots to get a first down, but that's only 10 yards that you have to make it down the field. And so if it feels a lot more achievable there. And again, like if you are working with a team of people or working with a group around you, it's real easy for them to start to feel like failures and like nothing they do is good enough if the leader or the main person only expects touchdowns. Like that can throw
Right.
everybody off, not just you mentally. So we talk about it a lot, but celebrate the little wins and figure out what those smaller milestones are. The big goals are important to have, but you have to have
Yeah.
those small milestones so that you know what that can kind of look like broken down. A great example of this is so many coaches and business owners that I talk to are like they want to make their first 6 figures, right? Well, 100 grand is like 8,600 bucks a month, right? Or 8,800 bucks a month. I always forget. Um, so if you break it up like that, then it doesn't feel as daunting to go make $100,000 inside of your business or inside of your job or whatever. It's like, how can I get to my first, $8,800 a month?
Hmm.
And then how can I do that in another month and then another month, right? And then all of a sudden you start to knock down these, and maybe you get a $10,000 month and it's awesome, right? Or maybe you get a $15,000 month and that's great, right? And then now that all adds up to the big goal, and before you
Right.
know it, you'll be there. Okay, next one. You don't become a master because you're able to retain knowledge. You become a master when you're able to release it.
So I think that that's just like um, you aren't okay. Just because you know a lot doesn't really mean anything. I feel like you have to be. I feel like you really master something if you're able to like teach people about it. Because
Yeah,
yes, you could know everything in the world, but if you can't actually like tell people like this is how you do this or this is what this means, then like I feel like you yourself you might know it, but do you really like know it? If that makes sense.
yeah,
I feel like to be able to like truly master something, yeah, you have to be able to like yes, know it, retain the knowledge, understand it, but also understand it enough to be able to relay that information or teach that information to others. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna say that's what that kind of means.
yeah. I mean, you hear versions of that quote all the time. It's one that, like, let's just take in our industry. Okay. Like, there can be people that know how to there's coaches that know how to have for themselves a great physique, right? Know how to have for themselves, like, some results. They know how they can bulk and cut. But if they don't understand how to do that for other people, they're not going to be a necessarily good coach. They might be a good athlete, but they wouldn't end up being a good coach. So
Right.
understanding how to use that knowledge that you've acquired to help other people is the best way to learn it. Because then also the other part of this is if you learn how to do it for yourself, even if it could be something in academia too, like let's say math, like how to do a specific math problem. You know how to do it in your own way, getting it to like through your own set of like circumstances and experiences and knowledge and all that stuff that you're drawing off of. Just like you would know with a body, right? I would know how to get results from my body based on all the work that I've done and all the things that I've done before with different bulks and cuts and everything. But if I can't go to you and tell you how to do the math problem because you were taught by different teachers at some way down the road, you didn't learn this specific style of math, you didn't learn this exact same way of thinking that I did, or your body doesn't respond to all the stuff that I did, it doesn't. I'm not a master of it. I just know how to do it for myself now, right? And so by exposing yourself to teaching other people, you're exposed to new ways, new problems, new things that you have to just get creative at doing and turning that into a result at the end. And so you get exposed to a lot more avenues to be able to accomplish or do that thing, which makes you a master at the end. So, well said, I think. Okay, next one. Stop telling yourself you're not qualified, good enough, or worthy. Growth only happens when you start doing the things you're not qualified to do.
I feel like that falls into line with the imposter syndrome. Like I think I had this talk with you like when we first started like coaching and stuff, and I was like, I don't think I know like I don't feel like I should be telling people what they can and cannot do or like what they should be doing because I
Yeah.
just didn't feel like even with our certifications, like didn't feel like I was like qualified enough to be telling because at the time when we started, like most people were older than me, and like I was just kind of like, oh, I'm like this child. Like I don't feel like should have responsibility of these people, but it's just you second guess yourself because you feel like even though you could know everything, and I feel like you're still gonna be like, well, like if I tell them this and then I'm wrong, like I don't want to like mess anything up or upset them or I just feel like it's a thing of you have to trust yourself, like you have done the work or you know what you know or you've you know practiced 1,000 times or whatever it is. So like you just kind of have to trust your gut and know that like you're doing it for a reason. You're not actually. That was the most terrible answer in the whole wide world. Um,
No, I think you're right. And it is. So Alex Ramosi, I think he's the one that actually said that. He said a couple of these, but he has this other saying that is, uh, you have to have a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are, basically. Um, And so you only do that by doing the thing that gets you the stack of undeniable proof, right? Like just replicating the results and doing it day in and day out. And so those reps and that stack of proof are really what makes you qualified to do it. But at the beginning, when you start trying to gather that proof, you're not qualified. You don't have a stack, you don't have anything, right? So, like, the only time that you can actually get there is by inevitably taking that first step and doing it one time and then doing it one more time. And so I posted about this the other day, but I think that imposter syndrome, paralysis by analysis, like all of that stuff stems off of this exact thing, which is people just get stuck in the ideation stage of things, right? The ideation phase, and they don't make it out because they are just sitting there, just like running, going in circles, trying to figure out how they're going to get started because they want to have it all figured out and all perfect and be confident and all that stuff before they take step one. And they need to get validation from 50 different people that they look up to or that they think are peers to get permission to take step one.
yeah,
And the people that end up winning the quickest are the people that just endlessly just take leaps and iterate and iterate and iterate and just go. Um, And so I think a lot of people would do a lot more things that end up being really, really cool if they would just take some sort of a step instead of just spinning their wheels at the very, very beginning and the very start phase. Because the second that you start doing these things that you're not qualified to do, that's when you can actually grow into being qualified to do them. But you have to start. So,
yeah.
whenever we started BAM, for instance, what do you, what gave you like the confidence to do that,
I mean,
to
because
reach
at
out
that
to
point
me and do that?
I had like already started kind of everything on my own. I had got my certification. Like I felt pretty confident. I was majoring in biology at the time, so like I had a lot of classes about the human body. Like so, I felt like I was very confident in understanding like the processes of the body, and I understood nutrition because I had literally like been doing it for like what 2 to 3 years at that point. Like you taught me
Yeah.
that, and I kind of learned some other things on my own and kind of ran with that. So I think just like trial and error with my own self, watching you do it, learning from you, learning from classes, like I felt pretty good about what I was getting myself into. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of what drove the confidence to start BAM with you.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Um, this one's similar, but not really. So it's another Hormozy quote. You can get good enough, and then good enough's in quotes, okay? You can get good enough at anything in almost 20 hours, at almost anything, sorry, in 20 hours of focused effort. The problem is most people spend years delaying the first hour.
So it's just kind of talking about procrastination.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't be a procrastinator. That's not good. It won't get you anywhere. I
yeah,
don't know. I would just say, yeah, I feel like I understand that because I definitely have been a procrastinator at some point in my life for sure. Definitely, especially in college.
yeah, definitely.
Even
I was,
now, yeah, even now, like sometimes there will be like some looming thing, like maybe it's a content or maybe it's like I have to fix like a client's plan or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm putting it in my head. I got to do it by this day. And then I'll literally just wait till like the last second. And I'm like, okay, I should probably get that finished. So
mhm,
yeah, don't be a procrastinator because the more you delay, the longer it's going to take you to see the success or see the payoff or whatever. Or it's like me with YouTube. I
yeah,
have had these vlogs ready for months and I've not posted
yeah,
a single one.
hmm
So
yeah. I mean, I've told this on a few different episodes, but my I think figuring this out was like one of the worst things that could have happened to me because whenever we got to college and I found out that I could like in high school, I never studied for anything. I was the guy that would get to class. Like, that'd be the one class period. If I had a test that I hadn't studied for, it'd be like the one class period that I didn't spend those 5 minutes in between classes as like social hour. And I would just go and I would look over everything right before the exam. And then I would always get an A. Like, it was easy. And then in college, it was a lot harder, obviously. But I started to realize that, like, getting an A is kind of like semi unheard of. I'm not going to have like a 4 point in college because I didn't care enough to do that. Um, but I could do the same thing that I was doing in high school and get like a high B or like a mid B. Like I was going to pass the class for sure and be like, mom and dad would not be on my back about it. So when I found out that I could do that in college, it was the same exact thing. Like finals weeks, everyone was stressed. I'd be hanging out, working out, like going to the library just to go chill with people, listen to music. And then like I would get up like an hour or two before my exam, especially if it was a morning one. And then I would go to the library and like cram and figure stuff out. Um, but it kind of like enabled me to do that. But I realized that like I could go into situations with like a few hours of preparation that were just super concentrated versus seeing all these people that were making themselves miserable studying every night for an exam that was 2 months away, and I was doing fine. I was doing like as good as them, but it was because it was focused, like getting in and like using the procrastination and the level at like midline level of panic, that's kind of like driving you to like figure all this shit out in like such a quick time.
yeah,
So I think it kind of enabled me to do that, but it is very, very true. Like I've even before I do presentations or stuff or something, like I do 3 or 4 presentations a week in front of our like all of our groups of coaches inside of AR Funnel, and looking over my notes right before that, or bulleting out some things right before the call helps me to sound infinitely. If I can get 5 or 10 minutes of like just looking over something like that before I hop on a call, I can sound infinitely smarter on the topic, right? And like, not that I'm trying to deceive people, I know the stuff, but it's like it just seems more cohesive, right? And it flows better, and you have it like a refresher just right there in your brain. Um,
hmm
so I've always thought that that was kind of like a cooler quote because it is so true. Like just taking a little bit of time before you do something or do a call or a presentation or an interview, right? Like it can help you sound like boost your perceived IQ 10 or 15 points just by
yeah.
doing some preparation. Life needs to be lived forward, but it only makes sense in reverse.
I mean, I feel like that's just saying you need to continue to move forward in life. Like that's literally I mean, every day is gonna happen whether you want it to or not. Um, and it only makes sense in reverse because I feel like one thing leads to the next, that leads to the next, that leads to the next. And it may not make sense when you're actually like living in the moment, but once you take a look back and realize all these things happen for a reason, or like there was some kind of bigger plan, then everything kind of falls into place.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps to have like you're never going to be able to predict everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't have those types of capabilities. So being scared of, I feel like a lot of these have been about like taking that first step. Being scared to live your life is only going to result in you have knowing less and understanding less and having accomplished less than if you were to just get out there and do and live and move forward. Because then whenever you have all those experiences, you've got stuff that you can actually draw on later on, right? And things make a lot more sense because you can actually draw back on more experiences, on more things that you've encountered and understood and had to just endure. And we're going to encounter those things in life anyways, right? We might as well, you always say like fail fast, fail often. You've got to. That's the only way that this whole thing kind of ends up making sense at some point or another. Those are really all the quotes that I kind of had. Did you have anything that you wanted to add or ask or anything like that?
I don't have any quotes.
Okay.
I don't have any quotes. I know you and Kenzie did a little podcast on 75 hard and like what's next. Do you see yourself doing any kind of other physically challenging or mentally challenging things this year? Or is that 75 hard kind of like the thing and
Um,
now it's smooth sailing?
I don't know. It's not going to be like smooth sailing. I mean, we definitely did that last year, and part of it was because we both were slammed going into like the wedding. Because
Yeah.
I remember at this time last year, it was like we finished 75 hard, we had one weekend, and then it was like for the next 9 or 10 weekends straight, we were either going to be at an event for the wedding in Texas or at an event for the wedding in Oklahoma, and like we didn't have any weekends left to ourselves, and so we were just traveling nonstop. So it kind of threw everything off, and of course that's an excuse. But this year, we both have pretty much. She's actually sick right now. She sounds like a 7-year-old man.
Dang.
It was really interesting waking up next to her, and she's like, "Good morning." I'm like, "What the? Who did I fall asleep with last night?" um,
Okay.
and she'll hear this, and she'll be really happy I said that. But we we both have been kind of like a little bit sick, but we both have pretty much jumped into like the same routine essentially. I mean, we talked about on the podcast. I'm switching out the 2 workouts a day for a couple days a week. We're both kind of doing like cardio, like actual measured cardio versus like doing outdoor walk and stuff. Um, Step goals every day to kind of help even that out as well. And then we both have like a split that she has her own split. I've got my own split that we link up a couple times a week to do workouts together
That's
and
good.
get content together. But I'm going to stay in somewhat of a deficit up until we're doing some sort of a trip for my birthday. And we've got a couple of trips like Orlando in a couple of weeks, which you're going to, and then Nashville for her birthday, and then somewhere for mine later on this summer. Um, and then so I'm gonna try and get leaner for those, and then after that, I need to. My plan is to try and go into some sort of a leaner bulk for a while. Try to put some size on these weak ass legs and back. Maybe Jermaine can help me.
Yeah, he'll help you.
Yeah.
Actually, Dad said he was going to teach you guys both how to work out and hit the back
Okay.
properly. So our dad can
Okay.
help you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to hear his advice. Um, but no, I don't think I have been thinking about trying to do like some running stuff. I'm just kind of sick of my knee. So I'm almost like I'm just gonna throw it under the bus and see if it sinks or swims.
Yep.
And if I have to get a knee replacement at 25, I have to. And if not,
Oh
then
well, try on
at
it
least
from
we
then
find
on out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe go get some stem cells or something if I can find some for cheap. Um, but no, nothing crazy. I do want to try and do some running and get into some more stuff like that. But we've been doing a lot of like research on sauna since we have access to one. And there's like a lot of crazy benefits to the sauna that I did not know about.
I heard you talking about some of them in the podcast episode, and Jermaine actually like just moved to a place that has one, so
Yeah.
we'll be right there with you guys.
Yeah. You have to take advantage of it. So
Yeah.
I think for people that didn't hear the last episode, the actual marker, the minimum that you should be doing the sauna to get like some pretty crazy results is if you do it 4 times a week for 20 minutes at 175 Fahrenheit. Um, Studies showed that doing it 4 to 7 times a week, four being the minimum at the temperature in that time frame, gave a 40% reduction in all cause mortality. So just sitting in a hot room for 80 minutes a week can reduce your chances of dying from all of that crazy stuff by 40%. Like, seems like a no-brainer to me. So that's one thing that we're trying to do. But I think she's wanting to, babies and everything probably on the horizon for early next year. So I think she's just wanting to get in the best shape that she can and, um, you know, get some content and all that stuff and try to get social media going for her.
To be, and I can't wait to take care of your
Mhm.
children.
Yeah, we'll see if we trust you by then.
You will.
We will see. But whenever you finally post your YouTube video, maybe that'll help her out with the content.
True. I'll post it.
You need to. But that's all I got for you. If you don't have anything else, then we can wrap up.
Yeah, that is pretty much all I have as well. Nothing
Okay.
crazy. Hopefully, next time we get on a podcast, I'll have like a prep plan, different life things. We'll be going to the coaching con. I'll be a whole new age.
Yep.
So, should be good.
It's all coming up soon. You'll be another year older. We will have spent like a week in Orlando, Florida, and we'll have lots to talk about.
Yeah. So,
All
should be a
right.
good time.
We'll see you guys on a much better version of both of us, maybe a little more tan and more aged and more wisdom here in a few weeks, guys. So thank you guys for watching the Bamcast or listening. Make sure that you subscribe if you're on if you're on YouTube, or follow the show if you're on any type of audio platform. We appreciate you guys more than you know, and you can find all of Addie's links and our links to the BAM Coalition down below. So thank you guys, and see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.